I'm not gonna lie, it really sucks being a DC fan nowadays because I don't know if you guys have been living under a rock, but Marvel just announced a new Black Panther game, which is awesome. That's cool, awesome. I mean, I kind of would have was hoping for a Daredevil game, but I'm not complaining. Black Panther game, that's cool. Oh, what's that? We also got Captain America and Black Panther. That game's still coming out. Yeah, okay, so Black Panther's getting 2 games. Cool. I forgot about that. That's awesome. Oh my god. And we're getting the Wolverine game. I forgot about that one too. And we're getting Marvel Spider-Man 2 this year. Oh my god. What else is Marvel doing? And then I look over at DC. And I'm both a Marvel and a DC fan, but I prefer DC. And I look over at DC and I see Gotham Knights. That's all I see. I see the Suicide Squad game, and of course in Rocksteady I trust. But the Suicide Squad game is coming out in 2024, is it now? It's been delayed a couple of times, and it's been, oh god, that would be 9 years since Rocksteady's last game, not counting Batman Arkham VR, which is a long time to take in between games. So I was going to make this video a few days ago, talking about how it sucks being a DC fan because we have no games. But then I saw what James Gunn said about the crypto game. And this isn't a confirmation for a crypto game, by the way, but James Gunn basically was talking about, and by the way, this has already been confirmed, that the DC games, I'll talk about this first and then I'll get into the crypto game in a second, because apparently we might be getting a mobile game on Crypto Superman's dog, which is a whole other debate. If the DC goes in the mobile game direction, because we need AAA games. This could be a very dark time for DC fans, but James Gunn has said a while ago, and I like James Gunn. I like what he did with the Suicide Squad. I am hoping the direction he's taken the DCU in will be a good direction. Superman Legacy looks good so far. Obviously, I want Henry Cavill, but hey, you can't win them all. I don't want to get into that right now. Let's not talk about the movies. Let's talk about the games. James Gunn said a little bit ago that he wanted to make a connected games universe. Awesome, that's great. But he wanted to make the connected games universe the same as the movie universe. In other words, they would have been movie tie-in games or movie crossover games where the same actors would play the same characters. So I'm not gonna lie, I already forgot who's playing the new Superman. But let's say if Henry Cavill was playing Superman in Superman Legacy, then he would be playing Superman in the video game, which sounds like a cool idea, but that severely limits the creativity of the games. What I want to do is I want to go see a movie, I want to go watch the Justice League, I want to go watch Superman, Batman Brave and the Bold, whatever, and then when I come home and I want to do the same thing over again but with a separate universe. I don't want to have my games universe confined. Gaming and movies are 2 different mediums. You can't have a 2-hour movie take place in the same universe as 25-hour games and do them both justice. I mean, I guess you can. I don't want to say it's impossible, but it'd be very hard to make a Superman movie and then make a Superman game that's 25 hours, but somehow make them both the same level of impact and make them both in the same universe. That just feels very difficult to me. And what happens when the movies flop? Will the games universe just end? Will they stop making the movie tie-in games? Movie tie-in games stopped for a reason. Look at the Amazing Spider-Man 2. When you rush these games to come out alongside movies, that's not going to be very good. But what James Gunn sounds like he's going to do, it sounds like he's going to have them loosely connected, where a movie comes out, and then within a couple of years that movie coming out, there's going to be a kind of like a game tie-in that kind of fills the gap between that movie and the next one coming out, which I support the idea of, which I'm like, okay, that could kind of work. I could get behind that. And I hope that not every game has to be connected, like that Wonder Woman game coming out. I mean, I guess, like, like, for example, the Batman isn't going to be connected to the DC universe, but they're still making the Batman sequel, which I think is cool. Hopefully he's going to do that with the DC Games universe. There's nothing contradicting that. Maybe he will do something like that, where you can have these standalone games. And I'm okay with movie tie-in games to an extent. They sound cool. I would love, if James Gunn wanted to do video games based on movies, he could, like, let's make a Michael Keaton video game where you play as Batman 1989 after the event of Batman Returns, and you fill in what's been happening to Michael Keaton's universe. That would be awesome, okay? But let's not talk about that. What we're actually talking about is, he said something along the lines of, he would like, and this is a hypothetical situation, but let's say a Superman movie comes out, a Supergirl movie comes out, and a few years later, what's going to happen in between them? Maybe a crypto game? No, James Gunn, that's not what I would like. You had me in the first half. A movie coming out this year, another movie coming out in a few years. Let's make a game that covers the gap in between them. That would be kind of cool. Again, I think it's very confining to do that because then the game has limitations in the plot, but still, you can't ask for everything as long as we get a Superman game. But he said he would like a crypto game, which implies that he wants games based on these smaller characters, these little nuances, like a crypto game. Is that what's that even going to look like? It's either going to be a mobile game or it's going to be like the freaking Hobbit. What's that guy? Lord of the Rings Gollum. Lord of the Rings Gollum. The Gollum game that just came out looks terrible. It's gonna be like that. Like we don't want that. And I'm just making this video saying that it sucks to be a DC fan because I think like if James Gunn continues to run. If he runs the DC games in this direction that we're going in, then I think 10, 20 years from now, we're going to look back on this and we're going to be like, the Arkham games were an absolute fluke in the sense that they were good DC games, and DC 10 years from now is going to be known as the WB's company that puts out terrible games. Like, no one's going to want to play DC games. They're just mobile games and cash grabs. I think that's the direction that it sounds like DC games are going in. Like the past few years, all we've gotten is Gotham Knights, and I'm happy Gotham Knights is not a bad game. I don't think it's a terrible game, and I'm glad I would have rather played Gotham Knights than nothing. But Gotham Knights, I would rather play any of the Arkham games, including Arkham Origins, over Gotham Knights. I didn't enjoy Gotham Knights that much. It was filler, and I shouldn't have waited 7 years for it. And I'm kind of worried for Rocksteady's Suicide Squad. I mean, it's looking kind of dark, and that really concerns me because Rocksteady has always put out bangers. I'm just a little upset because it doesn't take that long to make a good game. I should know. It's 2:30 in the morning right now, by the way, when I'm recording this video. I have to get up in a few hours for work, so I should not be up this late. Literally getting up in a few hours. But I just stayed up till 2 a.m. playing Batman Arkham Asylum challenge maps, taking turns on the challenge maps with my little brother. It's awesome. That game came out, Arkham Asylum came out, 14 years ago? And it's still playable, and they made that game in 2 years. It doesn't take that long to make a good game. So I'm just frustrated on why DC is not pumping out games every year. What they should have done is they should have, I don't want to beat a dead horse, and I don't want to act like we can turn back time, but if we could turn back time, we should go back to 2013 and hire Paul Dini as a writer for Arkham Knight, and then start investing in other game studios to make the Wonder Woman game years ahead of its time, to make Flash, to make a Superman game, to make all these other games, to make a Teen Titans Suicide Squad game years ahead of its time, and make a Justice League game, and a Damian Wayne Batman game. Okay, we should have done that. And look, I get WB has other properties like Harry Potter and Hogwarts Legacy, and the Shadow of Mordor series with the Monolith Productions, and I get that WB is trying to water their other properties as well as DC, but DC is really probably their most profitable property right now. I mean, either that or Harry Potter. And if it would be okay if they were investing a lot into Harry Potter, but they're not even doing that. They're barely making games at all. We have Shadow of Mordor, Hogwarts Legacy, and then the Arkham games from years ago. Like, how many good DC games have we have? It just disappoints me because they have so many characters at their disposal, but they're doing absolutely nothing. We should be getting a new DC game every year. They should be making huge investments into these games. Even if they're bad, they're going to sell. They should be making even shorter games. Not every game has to be 20 hours long. A 10-hour game. Arkham City, which is considered to be the best Arkham game by many, including myself, is literally 3 hours long. Especially without the Catwoman DLC. Play that game, I like to think it's 6 to 10 hours long. It's not. If you just play Arkham City right now, it's going to take you 3 hours and maybe 10 minutes to beat it on hard difficulty, even with the Catwoman DLC. It's insane, and that's a great game. So if you just spent 2 years making a game and coming out with a new game on a DC character every year, and each game was 4 to 5 hours long, you could be making lots of money. And these could be Game of the Year, well, probably not Game of the Year contenders nowadays, because games can't be that short nowadays and be Game of the Year, but still, they could be good games. And I don't think anyone would really complain. Like, literally anything. Just make a fun game. Make the free flow combat system. Make engaging gameplay mechanics. That's all we want as fans. At the end of the day, we just want to play some sort of computer simulation where we're running around as the fastest man alive, or beating up people as Wonder Woman, or shooting laser beams out of our eyes as Superman. That's all we want. It's to just live in a fantasy world. It's to just come home after a long day of work and play these games with these iconic characters. And it's kind of weird to me. It's kind of bizarre that Black Panther is getting a game before Superman does. does in recent years. And I hope that Wonder Woman game does well. I hope the Suicide Squad game does well. And I hope that are they still even working on that leaked Superman game? I don't know. A new Superman game gets leaked every few years. I don't know what's going on. I just hope that DC sorts their stuff out and they start really investing in the potential, like, millions of dollars they could be making in video games. But what do you guys think? Let me know that in the comments below. I really do appreciate reading all your comments. Do you want more videos like this? Let me know. Please remember to like, and thank you all for watching. Peace.